Senator.
Yes, sir.
It's an honor, sir.
Thank you.
As a Republican blogger who understands and appreciates that freedom of the press comes with responsibility, are you willing to forcefully enforce the Bush doctrine that anybody that supports an AIDS terrorist, even if it's our own cultural institutions, two examples being Poison Ivy League universities that believe in tea with Mussolini and Colombian coffee with Armageddonajad, and secondly, a newspaper run by a Jewish person I'm not related to and I apologize for, that gives up our troop movements, getting them killed, aka the Jason Blair Times? How do you balance, as a member of the media yourself, the First Amendment with the fact that we cannot have our own soldiers getting killed by our own media, and we cannot have our own cultural institutions allowing murderers who should be in Gitmo teaching our kids?
As far as me being a member of the media, young man, that's one accusation I will not accept. Okay, formerly maybe. Formerly. I did a little television and radio work. So I'm very well aware of what you're talking about. There's a lot of irresponsibility going on in this country. Some of it's protected by free speech and some of it's not. But number one, it ought to be labeled as totally irresponsible, and I think it ought to be punished in the marketplace. People ought to be thinking about who they want to do business with and what kind of political pressure they can bring to bear legitimately in the marketplace of free ideas. You know, the nutcases are not the only ones who have free speech. So we need to confront it on that basis. There's also the problem in some of the more so-called enlightened media that they don't accept what I suggested a while ago was the case. And that is that we're in effect in a global war. And we don't understand the stakes. We don't understand the importance of this to our country. Now, how anyone could ever do anything to compromise one troop is beyond me. Those people will have to answer to a higher authority than me one of these days. And if they violate the law, we ought to take advantage of that opportunity to do whatever we can to them. But underlying a lot of this, and you don't see more criticism of it or recognition of it in the media, because I think some people do not recognize the nature of the global conflict that we're dealing with here. They think it's located, they think it's isolated, they think what is a front is really the war, and do not appreciate the stick-to-itiveness, the determination, the will that we're going to need to prevail in this. You know, Andrew Roberts wrote not too long ago a book called The History of the English-Speaking People since the 1900s. And in there he said, the will of the people to prevail is at least as important as their military might. And I think it's something we all keep in mind. Yes, sir.
Senator Thompson, as president, I'd like to know, would you consider pardoning Jonathan Pollard?
Not unless some new facts were brought to my attention that I do not know about. I do not know about the details of this case, but under current circumstances, the answer would be no. He was convicted of spying against my country, and that's basically what I know. And I think that he went through the process and got due process. As far as I'm concerned, he'll finish out his prison term. Yes, ma'am.
You mentioned friendly Arab states. I thought that was an oxymoron, and it was somewhat of a revelation to me. So could you please tell us, sir, what are the friendly Arab states?
Well, I don't want to mislabel anybody, either friend or enemy. We've had a trading relationship and some beneficial relationship with Jordan for some time, for example. I've got a lot of problems with Saudi Arabia. I think that we need to think carefully about this arms deal that we did with them. I think we need to extract some understandings from them because of what's going on in that nation. and the center of the Wahhabis, for example, and the bargain that they made a long time ago as far as they're concerned. Having said all that, there's some interdependence there that we're having to work our way out of, to be quite honest with you, and I don't want to call them an enemy, because I don't consider them to be an enemy. A lot of shortcomings, and we could go around the area, and you're right, there are very few friendly faces, but there's some hope, some glimmers of hope from some places at some times in that part of the world. We simply have to take advantage of it if it appears.
It's an honor, sir.